I think it's hey, what's up?
What's up, Joe? Hey, Chief, just real quick, I got a question for you. Any comment at all on the investigation or the alleged investigation?
Hi, friends. This is Joe Soy William Green, and today was an eventful day for me. I attended the groundbreaking ceremony for the Lawrence Police Department, and it was really a well-executed event. By all accounts, a very well-executed and fairly well-attended event. Not very many people from the general public were in attendance, but many, many dignitaries were in attendance, as well as other members of the Lawrence enforcement community. Sheriff Coppinger was in attendance, Governor Baker was in attendance, as well as Lawrence City Council, state reps, state senator. It was really a nice event, well executed. I actually enjoyed it. But while I was there, I had the opportunity to try to get an answer to a question that many people in the community have that no one seems willing to report on. And that would be the allegations of improper conduct identifying the Chief Roy Vasque of the Lawrence Police Department as a subject of that investigation, and a number of other officers within the department. There really has been no acknowledgement of that. If there has, please someone let me know. But there has been no positive acknowledgement in the form of an official statement or press release coming from either City Hall or out of the Chief's office. I had the opportunity to ask. He was in attendance. I approached him, and take a look at this clip.
I think it's hey, what's up?
What's up, Joe? Hey, Chief, just real quick, I got a question for you. Any comment at all on the investigation or the alleged investigation?
No, I mean, those things are ongoing. We'll see what happens, you know?
All right. Are they similar to one time I was working with Jose Flores and Gene Scanlon on the 4-hour block, and you never came in. Conway yelled at me on the air looking for you.
I have no idea, Billy, what you're talking about, but all things are good.
Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop your fucking lying.
All right. Hey, I appreciate the time, Chief.
Thank you, brother.
So I asked the Chief if he would make a comment regarding the investigation or the alleged investigation, because nothing has officially been confirmed. His response was telling. He said, well, you know, these things are ongoing and it'll run its course. We don't need any further confirmation. The Chief is under investigation. It's ongoing, and he believes it'll run its course. And it very well may run its course. And maybe there is insufficient evidence against him. But my follow-up question, and the reason I asked that follow-up question, is because I don't believe that there's insufficient evidence. What I believe is that there's insufficient desire. There is insufficient motive or motivation for someone with the authority to address this issue. My follow-up question, I asked the Chief if he remembered many years ago when I was working as a police officer, and I identified 2 other officers that I was working the shift with. It was an overtime 4-hour block. I don't know if they called it the Club Patrol or the Impact Patrol, whatever name they'd given it. It was a 4-hour block of overtime. I worked that 4-hour block of overtime. Then Captain Vasque, he was the supervisor in charge. He was the commanding officer in charge of that small complement of officers, the 3 of us. He never came in. As a matter of fact, one time I radioed for Captain Vasque, then Captain Vasque, and I was scolded. I was absolutely scolded by another supervisor, because clearly that other supervisor knew that Captain Vasque had not reported for duty, and they were covering for him. The chief didn't know what I was talking about. The problem is it doesn't matter whether the chief claims that he doesn't know what I was talking about. This is what I believe is the strongest bit of evidence that they have against the chief and this group of other officers that, are allegedly involved. They stole money. When you put in for hours that you didn't work, you never put on the uniform and showed up, you stole money. So the chief doesn't remember never reporting for duty and abandoning 3 officers. He doesn't remember that, but he doesn't have to remember that because it's not the only time that it happened. And I wasn't the only one that was involved. I don't know how deep the records are at the Lawrence Police Department or even within the city of Lawrence, but these are financials, these are money. So they will have been kept. And I'll tell you right now, 7 years hasn't elapsed. 6 years hasn't elapsed. I think it was 6. About 6 years since I worked my last shift. So, do those records still exist? I can't imagine that it's stopped at all. It's free money, isn't it? And who's policing the police? But the chief doesn't know what I'm talking about. But I know I was involved one night, and the chief doesn't know what I'm talking about. Maybe somebody will find a copy of that detail, and the fact that William Green was paid that 4-hour block should only have about a dozen slips to look through. It'd be so easy to find out. Joe Soy William Green, Joe Soy William Green. I told you that if I had something new and when I'd get it, I'd share it with you. And I got to tell you that no one else is going to bring you the chief of police. God bless the cops. God bless the crooks. And yep, God bless the dirty cops.